Hello and welcome back to Evening Rust with me, edA-qa mort-ora-y, where we go off to coding battles and try to learn the Rust language. This is the fourth show. I know it has number 3, but the 0th show we weren't supposed to get anything done, but we managed to. Hello, Studiosi. I hope I got that right. Welcome to the show. And today, what I did before the show is I actually did some prep work. I looked at a code fragment in the manual, where is it here on struct, and I'm going to force myself to use a struct today. We don't know if we're going to need it, but we're going to force it. This might be called over-engineering, but if we're learning, we're going to have to do this. Okay, for those of you new to the show, we're off to the site called Coding Game, where we've been playing with these levels, doing practice for now. And we're going to keep going with it. Some of them graphics, some of them don't. We'll try to find the ones with graphics, but occasionally do one without, so we're going to look for completion. Just to keep this fun, let's invite some of these guys back over, if there's anyone here. In my super grammatical German, we're going to toast it in because they put me in this channel, so I feel like typing in that channel. And then one over in general. And let's see if anybody joins us tonight. Anybody who's joining us, just feel free to say a hi. I'm wondering if I should leave this chat open, see if anybody ever chats. It's too much chatting. Hopefully it gives me a message if something shows up. So, if you saw this in the background, I have Visual Studio here in the background, and this was actually where I tested Rust just once. I ran one program, and since then, I've just been doing it in Coding Game, and actually, the main program's still here. This is the only program I've ever actually written, standalone Rust, and now I don't know how to get back to the other one because it's like, let's go later. There it is, hiding on me. This is my cheat sheet where I have little bits of information, and at the very bottom here I added the struct bit. Well, we might have to look at the manual. It seems straightforward enough. It's a little bit different for me to see the struct and then the implementation over here. I can totally understand why they've done this. As a language designer, I can understand the implications here. And it's going to be quite different, so when you get used to it, just imagine that we're going to be making some mistakes here. Now we're at level 8 now, and I went and looked at some of the leaderboards, and you can see them here somewhere. I don't know where they went anymore. Here they are, leaderboards. So we don't have a lot of points. We're level 8s. Yeah, Studios, that's what I meant. We'll be typing directly in the browser. What I meant is that I didn't actually learn any Rust outside a Coding Game. Other than that one thing, I went directly to Coding Game, and the templates actually gave me enough information to go forward. I actually looked at their weird browser plugin thing, and I actually honestly, I didn't bother looking at it. I don't like when I have to fight through compatibility or anything, so I just figured I'll just type directly in there, and they have a few issues with font size, but it's okay. Alright, so back to these leaderboards, I was saying, we have a long way to go. Apparently levels go up pretty high. We're at level 8. If we keep up this progress, it won't take us that long to get there. We're doing like 2 levels per show. It doesn't show me any points. I don't know if that's because I don't have any, or I don't know why, but we'll get there. This is another part of the thing I was told I could do, and I've been avoiding the contest because, well, hello, 8 Little Bits. Nice to have you here. And yeah, love Jake's show as well. Working on the Rustio Boy now, the emulator. Or is he still playing games over there? He might still be playing games this year, but if you haven't seen his show, go check out Ferris' show on Twitch as well. If you want to see some fun Rust work in... Here's right. Okay, yeah, it's late for me too. But there is people living on the other side of the ocean, I'm told, over in America, and they sometimes watch shows as well. So that's why I do this show late at night. Okay, so I was told about these competitions here, and I'm still avoiding this for now because I don't feel as though my Rust knowledge will get us very far. But we might get into this soon enough. We'll find out as we go back to the practice and comes up. GMT, yeah, that's not so far away from me. I'm only 2 hours before that here in Berlin. Well, I'm not in Berlin. I just say Berlin time because nobody says Munich time. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could adapt myself around the chilling schedules. I mean, if I could, simultaneously broadcast this through 3 time zones, that would be the best. I mean, not time zones, but times of the day. So we got to create a sort of a time loop here to get the best broadcasting time. Otherwise, we just do different times, shows at different times of the day, and who knows, someday I'll just broadcast nonstop, but hopefully by then I'll have known Rust and I'll have to go to some other new language. Alright, so let's go on to the puzzles before we take too long. So the classic easy puzzles, we're here 80% completed, that's great, but we don't want to start with one because, as we said, we stopped because there's no graphics left in those. And so we're going to go down to a medium one, and let's just take the first one that has graphics, and you can usually see that right away. And this one has graphics, so we're going to take this one. We're just going to go with it. If you recall last episode, if you were watching, on one of these types of ones, my system started overheating. I don't think you could hear it in the video last time. It got really started beeping on me. And it got to about just over 85 degrees, which is still within range, but my system beeps and it's really annoying. Back to okay, Jake's good, back to Rush Drill Boy. Good. Done with the games over on his channel. Okay, so what I did is I actually went to my computer and I cleaned out all the dust, and hopefully we don't overheat today. There was a lot of dust accumulated. It's one of the dangers nobody tells you about building a silent computer. It's because you have a low fan, and if you have any amount of dust coming in, it doesn't blow the dust anywhere, so it sits on the heat sinks and collects and collects and collects. And then it gets really hot because it stops blowing any air through. So hopefully I cleaned that out, and hopefully I didn't break any bits in the board while we're at it. The computer's still running. So let's see. Let's go back to Shadows of the Night, episode 1. And that means there's probably multi-ones of this. So far, the first ones have been easy, but... Okay, the difficulty says medium. Community success rate is 69%. That's not so bad. And let's jump down to the story. There's usually a story. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na-na, Batman. They don't have enough na-na-na-na-nas here. It's really unfortunate. And, alright. We love Batman's adventures, the Joker, bombs, hostages, and a hero. But this time it is you who are the hero. Your job is to find the bombs before they explode. Don't worry, Alfred's got you covered. He's handed you a heat detector to recognize the thermal signature of the Joker's bombs. Easy. Let's find out. Alright, and let's just jump into solve it. We'll read the rest there. If anybody else is using Coding Game, feel free to add me as a friend. I have no idea what the feature does, but it seems kind of lonely when I have 0 friends here. So if you are on Coding Game, feel free to add me as a friend, and I'll add you back then. And let's read the description here. Batman, blah, blah, blah. We already have a story. We have a limited number of jumps because we must be old, retired Batman. All right. Before each jump, the heat signature device will provide Batman with the direction of the bombs based on Batman's current position. Up, right, down, left, up, left. Okay, so we have the 8 standard directions. We're moving on the classic grid-like motion. So it indicates the location of the next window Batman should jump to in order to reach the bombs room as soon as possible. Buildings represent a rectangular array of windows. The window in the top left corner of the building index is 0.0. I often feel that in real life, we could probably thwart the future AI by simply having architects make sure a building cannot be represented by a simple matrix, and then we'd have no way of programming any of these things, and that would thwart any attacks. It would also thwart Batman's defense, I guess. So, okay. The bomb's location may change from one execution to another. Find the best algorithm in all cases. Okay, if it can change at random... Oh, one execution to another. I get it. It's always the same. There must be a catch here. This seems like the Thor one. I just walked directly to it. Width and height, number of jumps Batman can make, integer x and 0 starting position of Batman, direction indicating where the bomb is. Okay. Next one, jump x represents the index along the horizontal, y represents the index along the vertical axis. What's with hostages? Where did the hostages come from? I'm suddenly seeing hostages here. Did I miss something? I often skip over stuff, just as I skipped over half the stuff in the Rust manual to find that structure. And output for turn 1, upper right. Batman jumps to Windows 5.4, okay. Jumps right. And something beeped. What beeped? I think something in the browser beeped for me. I don't know what that is. Let's check some chat. Maybe my chat beeped. Anybody do something that would cause a beep? If I was just now, it's okay. So we have there used to be hostages. Batman found the hostages. He can defuse the bombs in time. You follow me. Thanks for the follow. Thank you very much. And I don't see where that is, but okay. Thank you very much. Great. And okay, so in this game they were hostages, where they were bombs. So we're either going to defuse the bombs or the hostages and rescue the bombs. I'm not sure, but this seems very much like the Thor game. I don't see any actual difference to this. I'm not seeing something missing here. We could almost copy and paste. Yeah, we could almost copy and paste the code from the last one, but let's try and write it new again. Because I said we'd force ourselves to use a structure. See anybody say anything interesting? Oh great, connection failed. Whatever. We don't need that, but I don't want to be in general DE. Let's go on general. I wonder how many... Hello, EZNBF. Alright, so I'm going to close this chat because I have too many chats open and I don't actually have a very big screen. What we did in the last game was we simply optimized it with an array saying which direction we could go, and this time we're going to do basically the exact same thing, and I'm willing to bet my vector example includes that. So you can even see from the vector example I have my cheat sheet. We did basically this exact same code, except we had northwest, west, east, blah blah blah, and I'm going to get that we just replace those with U and R. And that's what you're supposed to be outputting, U and R, so we can do the same thing. So northwest becomes upper left, upper right. And I won't go back to the other code. Let's just actually rewrite this because we want to do something different. Left, right, and this was down right, down left, down right. And we wanted to force ourselves to use a struct this time. And what do we want to put in this struct? We want to put something in the struct. I mean, let's just force it. I don't care what it is. Let's just say, what was the syntax? Struct Batman. And we got to give him some places where he's going to be. We're going to say his, for simplicity, we're going to put the eye size as, no, what was the order here again? X is eye size and Y is eye size. This is where he's actually at. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just want to use a struct, and in theory we should be able to have a let mut bat. And how do we initialize these structs now? Uh-oh, I'm going to have to look at that. I only saw the short form syntax. Where's the syntax for creating a struct again? I saw one in here. That's it, right here. So just type the name, and we're going to avoid the constructors for right now and say x equals, where is he? x0, y equals y0. So we're, for whatever reason, we're going to use the bat. And now we're going to follow the same logic we did in the other one. We want to figure out what location do we have to move, and we can do this as let's diff x equal bomb direction. Oh, this is different. It's telling us the bomb direction now. Huh? Alright, let me figure this one out. What's it actually saying? Oh, this one's the other way around. It's telling us which way the bomb is, and we're supposed to say which window to jump to. I guess I can only jump one? How far can we jump? To 5. Batman jumps to window 5. And okay, what do you think it is? Do I get to jump more than once? It shows jumping more than once. Why don't I just jump directly to the window? Probably because we don't know where it is. It's upper left direction. I'm not clear on what window I'm supposed to jump to. I'm going to read this again closely. I got it. I think you can jump. Yeah, you're correct. You can jump as far as I want. So what they want us to do is this kind of a binary search thing. They say it has to be optimized. So if I jump once at a time, I guess I'm going to die. So if I want to cover the most, I should jump halfway each time. And so let's figure that one out. We don't know where the bomb is. We have a direction, so we have to decode the direction instead. Now we're going to do something new. We have to decode a direction. This will be fun. I don't know how to decode strings in Rust. And oh, we can cheat though. These characters are unique. So let's say this. Let mut dx equals 0. This better say this is an I size, and this is probably an I size. Let mut dy I size equals 0. So at least this one makes me think. I thought it was too easy at first, but okay. And so now we have to say for C in bombdir.chars. I think we do this. If C equals U, there must be some sort of match syntax. I don't know what it is though. If D equals U, then the direction is going to be 1. Else if C equals right, dx equals 1. Now this is a really unusual way to decode, and I think it'll work though. And it's mainly because I'm lacking a lot of knowledge on Rust and how to do the mapping in a table. Why not using a match there? There's a very good reason why I'm not using a match, because I don't know how to use a match, and if you could show me the syntax, I'll use that. And I think I did mention match. I saw a match, but I've never used one before in Rust, so we should probably do that. Top left is okay. Down is 1. Down is 1, and up is -1. Oh, and these are going to have to all be I size, as to not annoy me. Okay, since I have this, let's actually do it this way before we switch to a match. And then we can switch to the match afterwards. Okay, and now we want to know what's the halfway point between Batman and the bomb. And so we're going to take the match to the division here, and you know, actually, we don't want dy and dx. We don't actually care about the direction, to be honest. We care about the target x, target y, so end x and end y. I know this sounds a little bit weird, but Okay, now this is actually, now the binary searching, this problem is getting fun the more I think about it, because if we over jump, if I don't account for that, I'm just going to jump back and forth the whole time, right? And so we're going to have to keep a minimum x as well. And I don't know if I put this in Batman structure. What I mean is that every time I jump, whatever direction I jump, wherever I jump from is below where the bomb must be. It can't be anything to the left of that. So we always have a target range left of where it's possible to jump into. And so we're going to track that. And let's track that with a tuple, because I saw those and I want to use a tuple now as well. And tuples, actually no, I don't want to use a tuple, because tuples have this annoying property of not having names. So let's just use a point. Let's use a point. Struct point. Point, and we're going to say x I size, y I size. Why not I32? Yeah, that's actually a really good question. The reason why I use I size everywhere is because I got used to using integer and ints in other languages. And to me, when I see something like I32, to me this says that 32 is significant. Like, I've actually thought about it, and I actually really want 32 bits. But I haven't thought about that there. I just want an integer. I don't care what size it is. I want size, whatever the size the platform supports. And this is the reason why I choose I size instead, because it feels more natural to me. Because when I say I32, it immediately says to the next person who's coding it, it's like, ooh, I32, that must be something special. They must mean 32 bits. They must have thought about this. It had a purpose. But that's not what I want to say here. All I want to say is I need an integer. It should be a normal integer for normal base math. And if there was a type depth I could simply do that, I might do that. And I have that in my own language as well. An integer type by default just takes the system dependent size. It's not a fixed size. And so I'm probably going to keep doing that here, even though I end up changing all these things to I size like here, because I haven't seen a strong reason yet why I shouldn't do this. And the type inferencing, yeah, I know it does a lot of type inferencing, and the one I found that hasn't done type inferencing is on these things. I've been unable to ever type a -1. I've always had to give it a signed type, and so that's why I continue to type that. If you know how I can fix that somehow, that'd be great. I don't like typing that way. All right, so Batman has a position, it has a point, and the building has and let's say target area. Let's use the command convention. Everything seems to use underscores. I prefer underscores anywhere. Equals. They named it I size. Okay, well. What if a platform didn't have 32-bit? I know it's a stupid argument. Part of my influence in that is that in Leaf, for example, in Leaf you have specific sizes. So in Leaf you could say I27 if you wanted, but I know Rust doesn't have those. Rust has I32 and I16 and I8. And I think it's just from my past, if I'm supposed to use I32, if you say yes, okay, use I32, I'll use it. Otherwise I'll keep using iSize, and we'll see. Okay, so target area. The target area of the building, and this has to be a tuple, and now I'm going to use a tuple here. It's not the best thing, but I have my point. Now I want to use a tuple, and a tuple just has, let's play with that type inferencing thing. A tuple, we can do this. We should be able to do just point and 0, 0. Okay, if I surprisingly change to I32, you'll understand why. Just to appease my crowd. target point. So our target area, I'm going to put 2 points, and I'm going to put it in a tuple, and those will be minimum and maximum. And where's the width and the height? Can width come a height? So target area is the area we have to jump into. And we can always control this area. And Batman also has a current position. So what's going to happen is, let's go back here. If we're going up, this changes our target area. And I'm going to make this all mutable. And I'm probably going to get errors on this. The mutable is, what this means, if I'm going up, whatever row I'm on now is outside my target area, and everything below that is gone. And below that, by mean, is a higher Y. So target area dot 1, I guess. Dot 1 dot Y equals wherever Batman is minus 1. Batman dot Y minus 1. Now I'm making an assumption here. I'm not going to use a max and min because I'm going to assume the assumption I'm always within a valid area. I'm never going to jump back outside again. So this is always going to be an acceptable calculation. And then I can get rid of this dy and ex and ey because I'm going to mark the target area, and I'm actually always going to jump to the targeted area. Yeah, I saw the name tuples. I didn't quite understand why I used... Oh no, I understood why I used them. Yeah, never mind. I understand that. And that was... A point would make sense if I didn't want to name the variables, but I really like naming things inside structs. I'm using a tuple here for the target area, but because the low and high I can get away with, but I really want to see, I'm playing around to understand, but I really like things like .y as opposed to .1, and that might be my preference. I'm not sure. I'll have to get used to it in Rust. In Leaf, my tuples are allowed to have names. They're not structs. They're actual tuples with name values. And I think it's very similar, though. You can also use a .1 there for that. All right, let me finish it. So target area, if you're going right, it means target area dot the minimum dot x is the current bat x plus 1. And we get rid of this dx dy. Target area, if we're going left, then the maximum x equals the current bat x minus 1. Why is it typing 0 on me? Target area dot, if we're going down, then target area, the lower bound dot y is equal to the current Batman position plus 1. Now at this point we'll have the new range, and we're just going to jump to the middle of that range every time. So let's do let. Yeah, this is Sasha Gray. This is a binary search. It's exactly what we're doing. We're doing a two-dimensional binary search. And as I often do, my binary search is often wrong the first time, but let's see where we say. We're going to jump to the middle of this area. And how do we decide the middle of this area? We're going to say, again, I'm going to just ignore the tuples right now. If Rust has some kind of vector operations, I'd use them, but I just don't know them. So vector area dot top dot x minus vector area dot 0 dot x. You know, this is kind of annoying. Why does this pop-up keep coming up with x0? Can anybody explain that? Why is there an x0? I really just want x. Divided by 2 plus target area dot 0 dot x. Look, it always comes up. It's annoying. Either I've typed my structure wrong, or this auto-suggest is doing something weird. Target area dot 1 dot y minus target area dot 0 dot y divided by 2 plus target area 0 dot y. Okay. Ah, if you type fast enough, it doesn't come up. So this is where we want to jump to. And what do we have to do? We just have to emit this. And I'm going to do this without any debugging and just hope for the best. So I emit output, just so standard dot print line tx comma ty. Alright, let me check here, you mean. This Batman, this is supposed to be a colon? Like up there? Alright, Nick is. Let's see what happens. Let's do play test case and watch for all my signed and unsigned errors which I get. Expected identifier found 0 at line 44. Did they fix this yet? No, they didn't fix that. Okay, 44. Points. Aha. That's because point is now, it has an X and a Y. So let's try one of these things. I wanted to try this as well. We're going to create a new, and I was wondering how these were done. Looking, thinking to docs, thinking to my cheat sheet. Impl point function new, and it's not taking a self. This one, my example, takes a self, but I think you're allowed to not take a self, and so we take an X as an I32, cleverly disguised as an I size, and a Y as an I size. And how do you mark function return types? That's how. Kind of embarrassing. This is how I mark them in Leaf as well. And we return a point type. And I think this is a correct point. We don't put any mutables on it because we wanted to actually take ownership of it. And I think we don't have to specify a return if I get this right. We just simply specify it in place. And thinking something about shortcut syntax. Might this work? We'll find out. Alright, we're just ignore the next error and try this again. Alright, expecting one on line 78. What do we have? Yeah. Oh, I size. Yeah, it's supposed to be I size. I do all natural integer mathematics should always be done in a signed type. Never fall in the trap of using unsigned values for mathematics. It's very bad. You'll actually end up making a mistake, and that's why I use I size everywhere. Okay, as I've said, I should be using I32 if it's the Rust way, but nonetheless, it's the comparison between signed and unsigned. Unsigned should be left for binary operations. Sasha Gray, if this looked like C++, I'd probably be able to do it a lot better and a lot faster. There are some bits that look like it. Print line, what am I missing here? Oh yeah, okay. You were saying it looks like C++. Well, here's my standard dot. That's some cross between various languages. It's just standard here. And size, that's the one error. What other errors do we have? Standard doesn't mean it. Unused macro definition, I'm going to ignore those. I wish they didn't show up here. Unused macro, unused macro. Mismatched types, not a surprise. Vectoring struct, point. Alright. This is apparently not the way you're supposed to do the syntax. I want this new structure. And this is supposed to do something else. What do my cheat sheets say? I had U32 match. Huh. Okay, I had to figure out the syntax now. Do you already know what I have to change in the syntax? Is that really all it is? Yeah, I saw that. Well, maybe that's all it is. Oh, this is supposed to be position. Okay, that's going to complain about Batman now, but let's see. Yeah, okay, good. So, thanks, Sequoia. We've removed that semicolon. Batman. Position is point new x0, y0. Now we're doing excessively structurized just so we learn this stuff. And if it finds out to be useful, then we'll just... They should have just parsed this all directly into a structure, then I could even know more Rust without learning anything, but okay. No puck, so we have Batman dot position. This is why I hate type ahead and lookup, because I'm in here and I have to now press escape to get out of it. That's why in my normal editors I turn off all such things. Alright, the rest might be dependent errors, so let's try again. Alright, Sasha Gray, you're saying my Rust is verbose or that Rust is verbose in general? Like, is that... is there a way I could be making my stuff smaller? Alright, so our Batman didn't find the bomb. I don't think he moved. It's because we never actually moved Batman. This would probably be very helpful to say bat.position equals point tx, ty, so we actually moved somewhere. Let's see if you can find something now. Okay, do we have errors or expected function found point? Yeah. New. Try that again. Does it compile? Yeah, I found it! With 38 rounds left. I think that sounds good. Alright, are we happy? Let's go with all the test cases all at once, and let's see if we got it right. Come on, Batman. That looked fast. I won. That looks weird, but we won. Yay! This looks silly. I don't think his detector works very well. Wow, the size of this thing. Is that it? Alright, we passed them all. That was it. That was all of it. Look, we learned structure. We learned how to implement something, both positive things, and I learned how to do new constructor, put some stuff around. We said we'd do match. Hey. I understood it. Don't worry. Guff job. We'll say guff job now. That's our new thing. We did a guff job, yeah? If you want to try the system, I actually qualified for the Twitch affiliate status now. You should be able to cheer for me. If you want any bits, you can cheer for me. Cheer 1 if you want to see the system work. Yeah, I saw that one with 0 rounds left, and that was kind of disturbing because binary search can very easily have off by 1 errors, and I'm really hoping they timed it to have it just so even if you made that mistake, it'd still work, because I highly doubt I have the most optimal solution. But let's go with it, but we want to use a match. Somebody said something about match. Anybody knows how to do match? Match. Match. Alright, those can be strings or something or other. How does a match work here exactly? I want to do a control flow and not return a value. Uh-huh. Print line, match some value, print line. I get this more powerful. It has a return type, which is this looks very much like the the select function I have in Leaf, because it can do both, but I'm looking for this syntax. I guess I just don't have a return value, and let's find out. So we're going to take this off. We're going to do a match C. Actually, so I don't screw this part up. Yeah, no, let's just retype it. Let's copy. Let's copy it all so we get the exact same. So this really is the if C equals U just becomes U, and we get this instead. Everything is commas, got it. Expressions. Now, is it Rustian to put them on the same line, or to put a new line here? What does their style guide show? Style guide doesn't have much of an example, so I'm just going to do it this way. Actually, wait, these are probably semicolons, and these are commas. So L and D what happens if nothing matches? I guess we're going to find out. So, let's see if I got this right. Nope. Non-exact patterns. Huh. Well, that's kind of annoying. Do I have to do... What is my exhaust? Is it really just underscore? Or are they winning like underscore, underscore? Will this actually work? Exactly what they showed me there. Why not? Let's try it again. Okay, so the code is a bit... Yeah, I was just about to say that. It looks like there's more code here now, and there are more lines of code, but there's fewer if statements, so technically there's less logic here because we have a table of matching values, and I would actually much rather see this match than this setup here. And I guess it's a matter of style whether you want to put these in the line before or not. But I don't think that buys a lot. But that's exactly what it did with the if case. The if case was more compact because we basically stuck the else if on the line before. And if you did the same thing, you'd have it a lot more compact. I don't know if it's more readable. Personally, I find this less readable now because I don't have the R at the start. So let's just leave it on the next line. And I don't find this too bad. I think we could pack this down even more because we're only doing a single update. But I'm just going to leave it like that. We've learned the basic match. I don't want to go too far. And we're going to take our chances that we didn't break anything, and we're just going to wildly submit this and see what happens. Okay, so I got achievements, it beeped, I think it was happy. I think we're okay with this one. I actually like this puzzle. This one's nice. Binary search is good. I actually covered binary search on my Leaf show 2 weeks ago, so it's fresh in my memory. But two-dimensional binary search is very interesting if you read the instructions correctly. If you don't read them correctly, then of course it's complicated at first. Alright, that's where I can see the little digital thing. That's Studios who follow me. Thank you very much. And what is that down there? Puzzle of the week. Who thinks we can do this puzzle? See other solutions. Alright, let's go back there. Let's go check that out. That makes a very good sense. Let's go see that for... Where's our Batman go? Batman, where'd you go? Shadows. Solutions? Rust? Not a lot of ratings over here. We got 1 plus 6. We're going to assume this is the best one. And well, see, no, he's not using any structures. Of course, his code's going to be smaller. Structures actually make the code a lot bigger, but obviously we're trying to learn there. And what is he doing here? He's doing very similar. So his H and his W, he's packing everything into the mutable values right at the top, and characters.next, characters. Alright, this is an interesting setup here. Instead of creating a for loop, he's packed this down and he's taking the first character and last character, knowing there can only be 2 in there. And he's done the same thing. He's reducing the height and he's increasing the minimum. So he's reducing it, and he does a divided by 2 here, W plus min X. And this actually makes a lot of sense. This is the typical way of compacting code when you're trying to find the middle of average. And you'll notice in my code when I did it, and let's just upvote this here. That looks fine. If you want to see what I did in my code again, I did this thing here. I take the difference of the 2 values, divide by 2, and then add the lower value. You'll see I do this a lot in code, and because I do a lot of work in graphics, for me it's a lerp operation. So anytime I see lerp, I follow this pattern. The special case lerp dividing in half has that shortened form, but if this value is anything other than divided by 2, this form makes it more common, and this would actually be times 0.5. It doesn't matter. If you're going to play cold golf or something, then you would use the other form, and his form is definitely more compact, and he used the more mutables up here, and he definitely didn't use structures. Structures are overkill for this code, but we wanted to use them, and we're going to continue using them if we can, and match. Clash of Code. No, I haven't played Clash of Code. What is Clash of Code? It's here somewhere, isn't it? This means I have to compete against somebody, though. I'm not a 5-minute coding battle, but I'm going to lose. Do you see how long it takes me to write a match statement? Can we come back to that one another week? I will go to these games, but I'd really like to, feel comfortable with the match statement first. And alright, shall we do another medium one, or shall we knock off one of these easy ones, just get it out of the way? One clash. Alright. We're going to do one clash. It starts in 1 minute and 22. Let's just join. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what I'm doing. We're going to attribute this performance, and if... Wonderful. Okay, and... Oh, the time went away. $104. The average edA-qa. Great. This is mean. I don't know how to get the value of that. Input line. Let's go. So we have for C and s.characters. Let total equals 0. Let's how do you get the length of a string? Doesn't matter. Let's do let n equals 0 and n plus equals 1 total plus equals C as, I guess, U32. Print line, the average is I lost the shortest for us. There's probably a shorter way to do this. Total divided by n, does this cast to an integer, or am I going to output like a... Oh, let's see what happens. Just play test case 1. Success. Let's just play all the test cases. Hurry up. Alright, I think I got it. Let's... What happens? I'm not... I just go it. So, yeah. Definitely not the shortest code. Yeah, okay. Oh, is it taking that long to end the code? What am I actually competing on? Is it like, I thought it was a speed thing, or is this actually code size? Are we fighting for code size, or were we fighting for how long it took? Because I have a feeling I'm going to drop down a lot. I mean, with the input parsing, is there any possibility I could get 18 characters in Rust? I faced issues. Yeah, I faced issues. I don't think Rust could have won. So do I have to sit here and wait for this, or can I go do something else while it's writing? Was this fun? Sure, why not? It was awesome. Was it difficult? And there's just, yeah, if you're playing Cold Golf, if this is actually a golf thing, then yeah, you can't really mix languages. There's a few languages you see on a CodeGolf.stack exchange or whatever it's called. There's a couple there that are custom made for Code Golf, and I suspect from looking at those things before that they're going to have sub 10 characters for such an example. It's something I've been tempted to do with Leaf. Is I'm going to make a variant of Leaf, then I'm just going to take all of my Unicode characters and map them all to like ridiculous functions with stacks, and just to play golf, the ridiculously small golf, so you can have like emoji smiley, emoji sad to solve this exact type of problem. I think the Clash has only 8 people, Euphyllis, if that's what you mean. GolfScript, yeah, GolfScript is the one I saw. It's tiny, and there's variants of that. And I'll eventually make Leaf Golf. Are there still people coding here? Clashing. Alright, do we have to... Yeah, it's... And I know how they design it. It's very curious how they design GolfScript. They use it's a stack-based language as far as I can tell, and it's perfect for that. And stack-based languages do all sorts of things where you can push and pop and calculate all at the same time. There were actually some calculators at some point that followed this standard. They used the reverse Polish notation for the stack, and you get it pretty compact, and they actually showed the stack. And if you're doing golf, that type of language makes a lot of sense. The code is unreadable, completely and utterly unreadable. You'd have a much better chance of decrypting assembler code than some of those things, because there's just too many functions to write. It's like if you took Perl code and removed like 90% of the stuff, like all the letters, and just packed it together. It still does stuff, but it's hard to read. And statements. I guess this was very clear. Everybody agrees this is very clear. It didn't take me long to figure it out. Test case relevancy. Since I passed, I'm going to say they're ideal. They're ideal for me. And these guys are still clashing. Do I have to wait? Do you think... Sasha, do I have to wait, or can we go on and do something else? Because I imagine some of these guys are taking out tiny little bits here. Let's just submit this part at least. No, I think if this is golf, I'm going to lose. If this is based on anywhere in code size, I'm absolutely going to lose right now in Rust. I mean, partially it's my fault. I imagine I can get this down to like at least half that, but there's just no way I'm going to get down to 18 characters. So I think I'll have to, and that was actually, I just got lucky there that I actually understood the problem, that I happened to have converted a character to ASCII before in Rust. If I hit something else, I'll be out of luck. And there's only 3 more people left. I'm going to have to take solace in the fact... Yeah, but I'm going to go back to practice. I'll take solace in the fact, though, that I got the quickest score. So, you know, I'll go with that. I have my own personal victory here of quickest score. I should have paid attention first. Faster mode and reverse mode, yeah, okay. Let's play them inversely. Let's go back and do a practice one first, and then maybe we'll come back. We'll see if we have time for it. Infinite energy now. Best suggestions is war. It's in the queue. So let's do war. But there's no graphics here. Wow. This can't be true. There's just no way. When did they add this puzzle? I have to seriously know when they added this puzzle. Is there any way to figure this out? I'm saying this because I wrote an article about this is my interview question. I asked people to produce this exact game. December 16th. Yeah. Alright. I actually use this in the interview question. This is after the blog post. And he's used the extended version, and this is really interesting that this came after the blog post. Let me verify that. I'm pretty sure, but interview question 2007 12/14 12/16. 2 days after the blog post it came, and my blog post is a 2-player card game, and it's the game of war. And this is the advanced question, involves the actual ties. Everything else doesn't involve that. I've been meaning to solve this sometime, but Bender episode 1. What's Bender episode? Bender? You mean like my episode 1 is very long, or Bender? Okay, so this is actually an article I wrote about that game of war. The timing from here is very... It looks like 2 days after it. They're free to use it. I mean, it's a great question. And the thing I love about the question is that I don't care if you've had practice doing this. I can evaluate you. This is actually a difficult problem in a time-related thing, and he's actually done the extended one. And 64% rate. If you had to do this in 40 minutes, it's a bit difficult. And my reason I ask it for is structuring. I don't feel like doing this one today, though. I'm going to come back to it. I mean, I just did a few interviews last week, and I'm going to change my interview first. But the interview's still good, even if I know people have solved it before. Let's solve... This one have graphics? No, no graphics. We know Mars has graphics. We did that before. Let's see if the second one gets a bit harder. Yeah, this one gets a little bit harder than the first one. So let's solve this one. We have to land the Mars rover or Mars shuttle or whatever it is. Mars lander. Wow, I have to land a lander. That makes a lot of sense. Second level, and we have a limited zone of safety. And we can turn it up and down. And every second, the program must provide the new desired tilt angle and power of Mars lander. Angle goes from -90 to 90. Oh, 2016. Oh, well, then he posted it, you know. His spying machine goes a year in the advance. But I'm glad to see it, that other people have seen that as it's a very good question. And I don't ask it as an algorithm question, though. I ask it as code design, so I kept my question very low. I only care about the code design. We'll go answer that another day. We're going to do the lander one now. A free fall without atmosphere for a thrust, blah, 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 blah. We're going to take a guess on this one, that we don't actually have to calculate anything, and that we can do a totally adaptive response. And land in a vertical position, land on flat ground, land in a vertical position, vertical speed must be that, blah, 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 horizontal speed must be that. Okay, and what do we have to output? Initialization, rotation, comma, power. Probably the most difficult in medium is Mars landers. Okay. Do you know if it actually involves calculation, or can I just sort of iteratively solve it? Or is it going to be really tight if I iteratively solve it? That means just look where I am and not calculate where I have to be. Well, we can solve this in two ways. We can solve the x and y independently, basically. We have a target x, I think. Where is the target X? What are we reading in here anyways? Oh wow. We have to detect the flat ground first of all. And the rest of it is just sort of yucky garbage. So this is a lot of work here. This is actually a lot more work than the other problems. Let's do it anyways. I mean, this is going to take a little while, but let's do this anyways. And let's just do it a bit at a time. We want to detect the flat area. If there is a unique flat area, that means we just have to detect where it is. Land X, land Y, and are they going to sort these, or do we have to sort them for us? Input for one game turn, output for one initialization over the number of surface endpoints. We have that n. A couple of integers providing the coordinates of a ground point. By linking all the points in sequential fashion, you form the surface of Mars, which composes several segments. For the first point, line equals x. For the last point, line equals good. That's that's okay. So let mut current x equals 0. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Studio C. I just go through the loop, and the first two that are the same y, I take that because it says it's a unique flat area, so it should be relatively straightforward. Current x equals 0. And to satisfy some viewers, I32, I won't say I size this time, although I'm disputing. And the first one is 0, so we can actually say 1 here. No, current y, sorry. Now let's do this. Let's make this simple. Current y is -1. There should be no y's here. I think it's in the expectation. Y is always greater than 0. So this test I'm about to do, if land y equals current y, then we have the unique spots, and I can probably break and set it there. Otherwise, current y equals land y. And let mut current x. Are you sure it's a default? Because if I type -1, it definitely doesn't make it I32 because it complains about negatives. Are you sure U32 isn't the default? Because I was never been able to type I-1 before. We'll test it out afterwards. Note, test if I32 can be dropped. Okay, so if we have, and then the current x equals land x. So we keep the current x, and then we say let mut next x equals, doesn't really matter at this point, 0.32, because it's always going to be something. Okay, so something here has to be. All right, well let's see what happens later. Anyways, let's see if we can fix that. And thank you to whoever probably followed me. I can't see any notifications in this screen, unfortunately. That seems like a design. Why don't I have my little thing up here? So I got some notice of something. Next x equals land x. Okay, break. And this should tell us where we have a print error here, a debug here somewhere, print error. This will be the flat area of our screen. Flat is between current x and next x. And I'm just going to run that. Obviously, we're going to do something horribly wrong, but I just want to see the errors. Did you mean print error exclamation? Yes, I did. Ooh, sound effects. We exploded in the middle of the air. We explode. Index out of bounds. Alright, it doesn't matter. We got to the point where we have flat 4,000 to 5,000. That looks about right. We've identified the flat area. And I'm going to do something else. And I'm not going to break. Actually, let's do this first. I have a feeling we have to track the maximum height. Because until I'm over the flat area, I have to stay above that height. Now, that's not the optimal solution. I'm guessing when it gets to hard, you actually might have to go up and down. But for now, let's just assume I can stay high enough. And so now I have to get to the desired area. And so we're going to say let target x equals current x plus next x divided by 2. And this will take the approach that we saw in the optimal solution in the previous one. Rather than doing the lerp style, we're just going to divide it by 2, the average x. This is our target x. And how do we get to target x? And we know from last time there's a couple things we have to maintain. Actually, it has it right here, horizontal speed, x, y. We don't have to maintain anything. Every input has it for us. So they're being really nice to us. We have to rotate and power. And what we want to do, if we want to say, okay, we'll just do a couple advances here first. Let's say, let's rotate I think we can only do in increments of 15 degrees. That's what the last one was. I didn't read it here. Or was it a maximum? Plus minus 15 degrees. That seems good enough. Mute rotate and mute power. So we're going to change the power. We're going to say if x is greater than target x, then we're going to rotate minus, let's see its angle, so I have to minus it or subtract it. If we're too far to the right, we need to go back, so we're going to add to it. That's according to its rules, plus equals 15. Else, if x is less than target x, and this is really a horrible adaptive solution that may not be the best. But we're going to try it the quickest way possible first. And we're just going to do vertical speed. The vertical speed is never allowed to be greater than something or other. Yes, correct. Thank you. 8 little bits. What's our maximum speed we're allowed to be? There's a maximum vertical speed. Where was that? Alright. And okay, there's a horizontal speed too, is 40. So if v speed is less than minus 40, less than or then power equals standard dot, there's a max in here somewhere, max, or actually minimum, yeah, max power, comma, power plus 1. We might need to increase the power because of the target X as well, but I don't want to wait too long before we see some animation. So let's just go with this. So we're going to say rotate and power, rotate and power. This makes it fun with the visual things, especially for a stream, is that we can simply do stupid stuff. And use standard comp max. Did I blow up? How did I blow up? Oh. What did I do wrong? Types of so many colons. Index out of bounds. What did I do wrong? Where did I do something wrong? Is there somewhere it says pointed here, main? Yeah, we know it broke. You don't have to keep telling me it blew up. Index. Alright, it's gonna keep crashing on me now. 53. Well, this kind of sucks. I didn't write this part of the parsing code. And they have an error there. So now we have to debug their parsing code because this doesn't parse it. It says index out of bounds. Inputs, inputs, inputs. Well, let's see what this line is. Print error. Input line. Yeah, I'm getting the sound effects here soon, but alright, so this is what it gave us. Now, whatever it was expecting to parse, it did not parse. You know what it is? It's this break right here. Oh, we can't break out of here because we haven't read the input. So it's got a lot of great input here that we still haven't parsed. So let done equal, actually found x equal false. Here's my fault, yeah. True. If not found x, then we do this whole bit here. Alright. Don't crash me this time. I mean, this crash nugget. The other crash is okay. Okay, so we're not turning the lander on. We rotated too far. What's the maximum rotation anyways? We better turn down the rotation, and rotation equals the minimum of... this should be minimum here as well. I always get this wrong. We don't want the maximum power, we want the minimum. The minimum of rotate, comma... No. Sorry, I got this wrong. 4. There. 4. 90, comma, rotate plus 15. And we want, yeah, because we're negative, we want the maximum of minus 90 and rotate minus 15. We'll import minimum as well. But we're going to need to have some way to have a power. And this means if we're not on target x, the power has to be up there as well. So x is not equal target x, and it's almost never going to equal target x. But let's just go for it. When we see it crash. This is getting hard. I was hoping not to do math tonight. I do math a lot in my job. We're facing the wrong way. Why are we facing the wrong way? We're doing something wrong. Guys, why are we going the wrong way? I get the rotation wrong? I think we're going to run out of fuel and die. Watch it, here we go, we're going off the screen. Well, at least we don't get the exploding sound, which is good. Oh yeah, thanks. Haven't looked at the other maps yet, I'm just going with this one. But I have a good idea of what comes in the other maps. There we go. Speedy, speedy. Well, it's like really slow. It's exploring. Okay, we're going to crash. I see this happening right away here. This is just going to totally crash on us. But let's see if it at least starts tilting back. It does start tilting back. So, we're going to do a few cheats here. If x is not greater than target x, we're going to do target range instead. And we're going to use a tuple here, just because, hey, why not? Current x, next x. If x is outside of the range, so if x is outside of target range dot 1, this is going to give us more time to slow down. And we're going to do another one here. That actually makes a lot of sense. That makes it perfect. That simplifies it too. So we always have a positive for once. Now I was going to do one other one here too, is that, or if our velocity in the side is too high, we also rotate back. And this is what I mean an iterative solution. And we're not actually going to calculate. We're just going to iterate. And this thing has so many intervals that we might get away with it. So if our horizontal speed, h speed, and our horizontal speed maximum is allowed to be 20, or h speed is less than minus 20, then we have to rotate back as well. Or h speed is greater than minus 20. And there are going to be some maps, I imagine, maybe not medium, but definitely in the hard version where this won't work. But we're going to try it first of all. I'm going to try to get lucky. We'll try everything we can to solve this without actual math. And it failed. H speed, target, not target x, target. How do I check if it's in range? I need an in-range function. Or x is less than target range dot 0, or x is greater than target range dot 1. Target range dot 2, target range dot 1. Alright, so we spin fast, that's fine. And we should be turning back now. That's what we want. Whoa, we took way too long to turn back. Why did we take so long to turn back? Our H speed got too fast. And that's because H speed is greater than 20. Got something wrong with speed here. We took too long to turn back. This kind of has to be an exclusionary principle here. We kind of have to say that the speed has to take priority. But let's just try it again with that air fixed. It's like a very, very slow start. Okay. We might have to resort to some actual math now. That's no fun. We're going to have to actually figure out, based on the speed and how much time it takes to slow down, and okay, how do I want to do that? I want to do it as soon as our expected destination is beyond where the target X is. We can see the foretest. No, I don't want to look at foretest. I want to solve this one. I have a good idea of what's in the foretest, and I'm going to solve it a bit at a time and let target ideal equal, this is what I want, current X plus next X divided by 2. There's no atmosphere. Atmosphere would help. It'd slow us down. So now we're going to start doing some actual calculations here, and I'm going to do it without the acceleration. I'm going to do the simpler form. Where's the estimated X going to be? And we need to slow down 4 turns. We need to start slowing down, and I'm trying to guess how many speed turns it'll be. How can we do this way? I'm just trying to think a bit more. I'm trying to, normally I'd sit down, I'd bend down the paper and do this, but this is not going to make a very good show, so I'm going to start thinking in my head here that I've done a lot of these simulations before, and the calculation with derivatives here and a few integrals, and I'm still trying to just cheat without doing the full calculation. Because what we see is the moment our speed is high enough to know that we'll get there, but we need to know the time there. And this would be the acceleration, or the derivative of the acceleration curve. The moment we hit the halfway point, we can start slowing down. And that probably makes sense. That's what I'm actually doing already, Studio C. That's why I changed this. As soon as my X is greater than the target range 0, I start slowing down. I don't wait till I get to the middle. I start immediately, the moment I'm with an X. And what we could actually do is we could lower this to a lot lower based on the current speed. We could say, well, if the target plus the estimated X, if the estimated X is already in there, we can start slowing down a lot further. So we have to just take X plus the current H speed, but times what? How long does it take us to slow down completely? If we were completely rotated to the right, in worst case scenario, we would have what doesn't actually know. See, we actually don't know how much thrust this gives us, so we really don't have much choice but to generate the force and to just respond. So we can just say estimate H speed times. We don't know how much time is going by. How much time is going by in each frame? Is this one frame? It doesn't tell us. Do you suppose this is 1 second? Is this 1 second or not? Alright, we don't know for sure what speed this is, so I don't know. How long is it going to take to slow down? We don't know what it is, so let's just say 4 hp, the thrust, but the thrust, what does thrust mean? It just says plus minus 1. I don't know if that means There's no relation to time here. It might be just time per frame. But we're just going to check estimated x here anyways, and we'll just fudge the value a bit. Estimated x. H speed, how many frames are we going to go? Well, where's it going to be in, let's just say 10. That'll help us slow it down a bit. It's really a really sad number. So we should see each team it's going to start slowing down right here. So 10 seemed reasonable, and we start slowing down. That's fine. Boom! Okay. Yes, I could calculate. Well, if we knew the actual time, we could calculate the exact amount. But 4 meters per second. Excellent. But is each frame a second? I guess so. I guess it just doesn't matter. So we could actually calculate based on that the acceleration. We need to slow down. And how many frames is it going to take to slow down? But this is the case with the angle where it gets really weird, is what we actually have is the angle is we're only going to have the cosine of the speed. Come on, so an actual x speed, well, we have an x speed. And our top slowdown speed is, we could actually say, well, let's take the top speed as h speed divided by 4. That's the maximum power. We're actually going to go speed slow. Each frame is a second. Okay, thanks for verifying that. Speed slow, that's how long it's going to take us to slow down at maximum speed. And this is take a speed slow. And now I'm going to put a hard value here. If. How many frames does it take us to get back to vertical? Let's hope we're in the right place. So if we're in the right place, so if we're in range, oops, control, copy wrong. If we're in range and our horizontal speed is less than 20, ooh, this is very dangerous. So let's do it this way. If our y, we have to know where the ground is. Do we ever track where the ground is? Is ground going to be at 0? No, 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 no. Current y, current y. Current y will be the ground. Let ground equal ground y equal current y. I gotta think of the ground thing first too. I'm trying to take a cheap test and say if y is positive, so if y minus ground y is less than, how much time do we need to slow down? 90 divided by 15 in worst case scenario. That's our step increments. We're just going to say rotate equals how do you rotate towards 0? Plus equals 15. Else if rotate feels like I should have a function for this. It's greater than 0. Probably there's a sine function, minus equals 15. And we're just going to keep doing this. And again, we're trying to fake it here. Terrible, 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 I know. Yeah, that's the, it's trying to turn vertical here. It's saying as soon as we're close to the ground, just turn vertical. We're going to hope everything's fine. And as we get close to the ground, let's just turn vertical. Because otherwise it's like this. It's slowing down. Why did we not turn vertical? Alright. Print error y gy y comma ground y. Actually, what we should do, actually just see what this is first. And I'm going to turn the speed up on this, these guys go double here. Did I mean print error, print... $76. Where did I put the 76? There's a print error here. Print error. Yes, the reason why I'm doing that is the 90 divided by 15. This is the maximum number of frames we require to turn back to the vertical position. Because we're allowed to turn 15 each turn. But the thing is, we have to put it instead of this if up here. So we have y and gy. 150. Shit, not ground y. We need a difference. Divided by v speed. Whatever it is, dot absolute. Where do I put the dat apps on this? And we're going to put this all right before this. Else. Because we have to stop rotating. If we're close to the ground, we just stop rotating. There's nothing else we can do it. Yeah, that's just why I changed this here. I said divided by the vertical speed. That's what I'm changing right now. So we can actually get that. Oh, what did I do wrong? Attempt to divide by 0. Thanks. Max 1, comma v speed. And we're still failing somehow. Why are we not rotating back? What is this value here? I need to know these values. So y and gy, we have... It wasn't rotating. That should have been 50. There's a 50 step there divided by the speed. Let's figure out what that value is. Let ground steps equal ground steps. Ground steps. All right. Ground steps are very high, and they're dropping really fast, which makes sense. How can the ground step still be 54? I'm calculating something wrong here. What on earth is v speed at that point? V speed is minus 109. How is this becoming... V speed is 109, so this should be 50. It's like it's missing the division. Oh, come on, that's why. That abs. And, well, maybe we should actually leave that. Say -1, and don't take the absolute. Y minus ground Y is a positive number, divided by a negative number. So how long is it going to take there? We're going in a negative direction, we're dividing by a negative value. Oh, something's... phone's weird. Sick. Alright, I don't know who was calling there. Sorry about that. So I think I might be wrong. It's calculating that wrong because we're negative. We turn back. He should start turning around really fast. And we go way too fast. So we turn too far left and right, and let's do it the simplest way possible. We just don't allow him to go too far. And see if we can slowly go across the board this way. Because the gravity is really excessive. Regardless of what we do, he seems to tend to fall. Or not. Alright, we're going back to space. I was really hoping to avoid actual calculations because this becomes a physics question, and this is one of the ones that actually, these types of things annoy me in actual interviews, because why would you ask actual physics questions? You're trying to predict where the thing is and you're trying to adjust it. I must go, my people. Yes, exactly. He's going back to Phobos there, or Deimos, wherever one he came from. He's going to say, I'm going back there. Screw it, landing's too hard. I'm safer going back out to space. And so we have to let it come down a little bit. And we can just say power... It's going to be harder landing on Earth, though. Its gravity is higher. So if our speed is less than this, we might as well just say, look, we got to do the maximum. We're going down too fast. Let's assume we're in a safe base. We're going down too fast. And over here, if we're rotating, let's just say power equals 2 for the moment. And let's just deal with it. I just want to see how close this gets us. What we're going to have to do is, if you want to calculate the exact thing, because you don't want the... We already have the horizontal and vertical speed. Yeah, this really isn't going to be fast enough. Alright, so but we actually made a mistake there. I just want to see it. as soon as this thing is within range, let's just say, or if the angle is not correct, or the angle doesn't equal 0. Because we know if we have an angle, we should still be turning. Yeah, there's an insane difficulty ramp here, and this is really, at this point, I'm not suffering with any Rust abilities here unless there's a physics library that predicts this. And we do that. And let's see if this falls a bit. No, 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 no. Hi, it's taking off again. Okay, so if we're within, let's just go back to this one. If it's getting too fast. No, we need power to rotate. Okay. Else if vertical speed is greater than 0, I just start reducing it. The maximum is 0, power minus 1. I'm glad it's entertaining. That's the whole point here. Don't let me program your actual Mars lander. So we're going to, oh wow, vertical speed, okay. So let it drop a bit, then we'll go across, and we're going to run out of fuel. Fine, fine, fine. We have to get this right, and I'm willing to bet one of the best solutions is obviously, is it really 29%? Wow, okay. That's my incentive. One of the solutions most likely is the correct physical answer, like the optimized one. But these are actually really hard to do. So let's think a little bit more about this. We have to optimize getting to that position and having the target speed. And we have a vertical speed and horizontal speed. There's really no value in calculating the estimates because this is really difficult because it's going to change the exact next time. Speed slowed down. We have the speed slowing down. We can get it basically being upright. And you know, maybe we should actually put this down here as well. Type of problem to test. I think it's going to test my viewers' tenacity. You guys, how many of you are going to stick around for the whole show? Once we're in this target area, if everything's fine, let's just change our rotation. And that'll help us slow down a little bit. But we still haven't solved the problem that we need to drop faster. And we need to drop faster in that target area. And there's almost never a reason we have the times 1, so let's try that. Yeah, I think I just war. If you guys are getting tired of watching me do Mars Lander, just let me know and I can go do war instead. Because I could actually solve this one offline because it's really not a Rust problem at this point. And he's just going too slow. What was going too slow now? His horizontal speed was too slow. This is tough to solve. And this has nothing to do with learning Rust. Alright, anybody, show of hands, we can go on to a different one because I can just sit and solve this one offline. Well, Sequoia, that's what I actually tried first. But if you notice the time limit here, you run out of fuel really fast. And you don't have enough fuel. But I can try that once more. Let's see if we actually have enough fuel. And that's what I was trying to do here. So once we get into position, and I'm going to go, yeah, so I'll keep trying then. What I was trying to do is initially, if anybody votes for going to some other one, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll stick with this one. As I wanted to get to horizontal first, but it means you have to stay upright. And but you have to burn, though. You have to burn the whole time, because otherwise you're falling down, remember. There's a gravity pulling you down the whole time. And you get going too fast. And I need to use the power to go to the side. But maybe I should just keep this range up to 30. Let's get to the middle. And let's go back to being the target. Instead of this one, let's go actually the target ideal again. Let's try to aim right for the middle so we don't have to deal with and let's say power equals 2. And if the speed's going too fast, then we just have to slow it down. So the suicide burn here is like basically if it's going too fast, and because we have to cut it down there, and because it takes down, although we could start later. Yeah, that's exactly it to do. Yeah, we start going fast, really, really fast. And we get over there too slowly, so let's just do this. Let's burn maximum and see what happens. Now I should have started tilting back the other way. Come on. I got one of my comparisons wrong. He never tilts back the other way. Why does it never tilt back? We have a estimated x is greater than it. I think that was actually looking good there. We have, but one of these if statements is not working out correctly. If the estimated x is greater than the target ideal, it wasn't rotating back. If the estimated x is less than the target ideal, then we rotate the other way. So let's print those out. EX, TI, and H speed. It's not actually speed, it's a velocity. I'm just going to point that out now. Express my anger in the way the program's So our horizontal speed gets going pretty fast, that's what we want, and our vertical speed's reasonable, and we turn back right away. Now we never turn back the other way, and that's what I'm wondering what the problem is here. Is our expected x wrong? Flat is 4,000, 4,750. Yeah, this you can look. I just wanted to say, that's why I looked at the very beginning. I think our expected value is wrong. Estimated x. Yeah, I think our estimated x, we're not estimating correctly. We have to go back to that speed slow. How long does it take us to slow down? And the horizontal speed here is, yeah, it does. But wait, what's the actual x? It's found x as well. Something seems fishy here. Something very simple seems fishy. Let's see him really go. I'm getting tired. I'm watching. Gotta make this go faster. Okay, what we have is our speed slow down. The actual equation here is taking, we're not, this can't be 4 anymore because we said it was halfway. So we have the horizontal speed, and we're going up to a maximum angle of 30. So this is going to be the cosine of the power, and you said the 4 was 4 meters per second acceleration to get that back down to 0. So, cosine function, anybody? Cosine, maximum is 30 divided by 180 times pi to convert to radians. Lots of functions we have to look up in Rust. So we need to learn some Rust again. This is the maximum speed by which we can slow down, is the current speed divided by 4 times this. Because that's the maximum thrust we're going to apply, is a maximum angle of 30. So I'm going to say let max angle equal 30 and I 32. So max angle in degrees. Max angle. And we need the stuff like cosine. I don't know where those are located in Rust. Hopefully it recommends me to find them. Anybody know where cosine and such things are? Rust cosine. Rust cosine. That's not helping me. Rust sine cos tan atan something. Probably members in F32. Okay. Okay. That's what you mean. Can I cast something to an F32? Are these constant members? Is that what it means? F32, let's find cosine. Self. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to reserve judgment, but that's really weird. So I need to convert this is getting silly. That's a lot of typing to convert that back and forth. Let's try to get this right. Let's write a function here that actually does it for us. Function the integer is the I32 cosine of degrees. And we'll take theta for degrees. We want this I32, and we want it to return I32. Actually, we're going to do multiple. And what do we want for the multiple is the multiple is also going to be an I32. So we're going to have to convert these all to floats first. How do you convert stuff to floats? And I want to say integer version, th equals, let th equals f32. Is there a new function in here? New. And actually, I'm going to look at f64. How do you convert something to an f64? Will that convert an integer? Okay. ith is f64. Let m equals im as f64. And we say let the the floating point result be th.cosine. Yeah, that's so weird. What did I say it was? th.cosine. We need to convert the angle. Not th. Because th is an angle in degrees, so times 180 divided by pi. We're going to find pi somewhere and take the cosine of that. Just think backwards. Times m. And that's the fractional result. And then I guess we want to just... Is there a rounding function? Probably. Let's return fr.round as I32. Mult cosine degrees. It's a wacky function. And the speed slow is now mult cosine degrees. We have the max angle in 4. So that's how much we can do in one time. And let's see all the errors we get here. Pi. Alright, pi. 64 const pi. How do you get those? F64 const pi. Unnecessary parentheses. Well, let's get rid of those just in case they're unnecessary. Ground steps. We used to have more. Okay, fine. Traits is not satisfied. This is line 21. Times whatever. F64. Trust me, it's a floating point. Ambiguous associated type. What does that mean? What does ambiguous associated type mean? Anybody know what that means? Alright, you know what? Let somebody figure that out. And in the meantime, since I'm flooring this anyways, nobody's really going to care how accurate this is. So maybe we count... Is it uppercase? Well, we did something wrong there. Is it uppercase? It is uppercase pi. Okay, let's try uppercase pi. Did something horribly wrong anyways. Well, let's at least see if uppercase pi works. It's the exact same error. That's weird. I'll go back to that for now. But we've done something horribly wrong here. cosine of the angle, and you know what it is, because they have the negative. They have a negative definition of what the cosine is. Their angles are a bit weird. That's what I want to see. I know that sounds really stupid, but I actually want to see that. Until it just gives up. It goes away. I don't know why I gave up at one point, but the rotation back and forth is kind of what you want to see. It's supposed to be optimizing, and but it's doing it a bit too much, I think. We're overcorrecting, and alright, so we only want to turn back the other direction if we're going to overshoot it. So if the estimate's too far that way, we're going to turn back the other way. And if that actually kind of makes sense, but we want to kind of not overcorrect. We have to give it a little bit of a chance. Will it make a difference if we overestimate it? Well, we can do something really stupid. Every time we correct, we should tame down our correction a little bit. So put the max angle out here first. And then let angle power equal 4. Okay. And in this case here, if we ever have an angle, where's our angle? Rotate equals 0. Angle power equals the maximum of 0, comma, angle power minus 1. What I'm trying to do is basically every time it switches back and forth, let's slow down the overcorrection. Again, instead of trying to calculate the perfect thing here, let's just slow it down. At some point I just got to give up on this, but okay, because at some point we should probably just calculate it correctly. What's it whining about now? Angle power, let mut. I'm going to put these mut 2. I'm not going to modify that one yet, but let's just leave it there. I was thinking of doing it too. Alright, so we got to start burning way faster than that. And if angle power, so if V speed is less than -40, can you only increase the power 1 each time? Do we have that limit, or can we just jump it up to 4 right away? Let's just say 4. This is the fast burn right at the end. Wow, we're just going too fast. -41, come on! I just want to get at least one homework. Okay. Use. Well, what if I want to distinguish between the constants? So did I just use pi now, or what? Pi. Not found in this scope. F64 consts. No, something's still wrong here. Just const pi now. Alright, it's happier with that. Hello. Oh, right. I forgot the minus here. Okay, what have we done wrong now? We have... I need to do something stupid. Or rotate equals 0. Duh. Yeah. I'm also going to take this rotate equals 0 because we hit 0 a few times. That gives us a few frames where we can adjust our vertical speed because we're probably going down too fast. And we hit it a few times. And that might have actually been enough to fix it the first time. Still saying minus 40. So every time we go vertical, we'll have that one frame where we suddenly have... And we're not slowing down enough. The vertical speed, the horizontal speed was too high now. Okay, then let's start with a maximum of 5. And down here we'll just say power equals standard min 4 comma power. This gives us one extra chance to turn around, one correction course. That's reasonable. Min, what am I missing? Min comp, min. Oh, min standard. Uh-oh. Calculation's wrong again. Why are we not turning back and forth anymore? Screwed something up again. We used to turn back and forth, but it doesn't do that anymore. We were doing that with pi. I don't want to be stupid, but this was what we changed, and that can't possibly be it, but I have to be certain. Why on earth does that make a difference? Woo! We landed! Okay, but here's your next mystery. Why are these two lines not producing the same results? Okay, so this is actually a Rust mystery, and I think this is a pretty serious one. And I think we should go to the... I'm going to have to go to a forum with this. Is like, why not the same? Why does this line not equal the same as this line. This is really troublesome. This pi, it should not, if this is type safe, this should absolutely not allow me to get a different result here unless I'm missing something obvious. Okay, well, let's try that again. I want to see it land again, and then we're just going to click through the test cases and see how lucky we get. Sasha was saying before that test case 4 we're probably going to fail horribly, which I'm okay with. Alright, we wiggle. If there's anybody in this lander, they're really, really sick right now. Let's play the next test case. I think we're going too fast. Well, what happened there? We can't be doing that bad. Alright, 8 little bits. I might go to bed here soon too. I'm gonna see what I can do if I can solve a few more of these ones. But it has something to do with this calculation here. What do you want to bet if I reverse these two that this second one actually works? But thanks for watching, 8 little bits. No, okay, now that's just silly. So we solved some. Can I, if I come back here, will we be okay? Now I have to figure out why this is going back. I think we're close. I think I'm going to go a little bit longer on this, and good night. Why is that one not adjusting? Expected speed, horizontal speed. Got something wacky here. If estimated x is 35,000. What do you mean 35,000? My cosine's wrong somehow. We should be using sine. Because it's vertically oriented, we should be using sine here. Aha, yeah. Sine. I don't do graphics all day. Nope, nope, no, not me. Come on, twist back. You know you can do. Did it break the first one as well? All right, let me think. What's the cosine of 0 again? Let's just do calculator. Let's just do octave. Should have started this a long time ago. Cosine of 0 is 1. That's not what we want. We want the sine of 0. And the sine of pi divided by 4 is 0.7. And the yeah, I'll look at the test. Don't worry. I have a good idea. We'll probably have to go up and down in it. I think that's what you're trying to say, yeah? Sine pi divided by 2 should be 1. So that should definitely be sine. But what are we doing wrong here? Calculating the angle. Yeah, so sine is negative sine should be positive. So we're backwards, so it's negative sine, that's correct. And but we have something wrong there. That looks correct, but it doesn't turn back. Let's see this one crash. Alright, just to satisfy Sasha, let's look at number 4 and its ridiculous map. Yeah, ours will actually do okay on this one if I get this thing working. Right? So our solution was the type of thing that'll solve this. If I can solve this problem. But we never seem to turn back again. But sine, I'm thinking, is definitely correct now. No, this one I want to try. Oh, I'm not scrolled up, that's why. So we turn once, but we don't turn back. So what am I doing wrong now? We're going to look at the numbers. We're going to do a bit of debugging on that. And we have to figure out why we don't turn back. And the expected x is 5004. Yeah, okay, so there's your problem. If we're at x, the expected x can't be 5004 if we have a negative speed. So what are we doing wrong? We're doing a speed slows. How long is it going to take us to slow down? This should be absolutes. Yep. There we go. I say as that's going to fix it. There we go. That's going to fix it. Here we go. Didn't fix it. Okay, so we still got something wrong here. We got a calculation wrong here again. The expected value is going to be 2002. So that's way out of the range. It should have been turning around. Estimated x 2002. Ground steps is 15. That's not okay. Estimated x is less than target ideal. Okay. Output more crud then. Print error. We have estimated x. We need to have angle power. And we have h speed. Do we have rotate? Let's do rotate. Angle power. And rotate. For anybody joining our stream now, we've been suffering on this one for a little while now. At this point, I've failed the interview if somebody was having this interview question. And it has very little to do with Rust. That's not what's causing my problem. Okay, so the angle power is still 4, so we should be fine. Rotation is 30. It's pointing that direction. H speed is I think I got one of these wrong. If the estimated x is greater than the target ideal, that means we're to the right of it. We're going to land up to the right of it. We should turn to the right. No, we should turn to the left. But if the h speed is less than minus 20, we should. These are backwards. He wiggled his way across. Wonderful. Okay. Wiggly wiggly. We're making popcorn inside. Woo! We got a second one done. Alright, let's see the third one now. I think we actually got the correct, non-mathematically correct algorithm. We're doing the overcompensating back and forth. And we wiggle a bit, that's fine. Alright, we solved the third one. 4. This is the one Sasha says we're not going to solve. Well, let's find out what we do on 4 if we're going to hit that target thing. It's a really tight landing. We'll see if we hit it. Do we hit it? Okay. Are you happy, Sasha Gray? We managed to land this one. Oh my. Come on, one more test. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good, guys. That one's mean. We're getting very close, though. We have very close. We know what we're supposed to be doing. And I think we worked out a few errors. Now... No, screw it. I'm not going to go back and figure out why that was different again. I think that's still different. We're overcompensating, which is fine, but our algorithm fundamentally can't land on that thing because we don't ever gain height. So what do we have to have? If our v-speed is less than 0... Yes, cheer for me. Woo! You can test out the... Twitch cheer function if you happen to have one bit or two. I just want to see what happens when I get one, but never mind. Let's go... No, but they both did different things when they had a cosine. Like, they were doing different things. But let's test it again, just to make sure. Because I had them both using cosine, and they were still doing different things. But let's check now. Maybe it was something else random. Maybe the value was just so wacky that it was some kind of overflow. If I check 2 and it does the same thing, we should be okay. But it changed its speed very fast. Okay. I'm not convinced these are returning the exact same values. Okay, they're not. This isn't as precise, but it shouldn't have made that much of a difference. Maybe it does. Wiggling is what we want. Alright, so that one's doing fine for that. So we can verify that's the same. Now what we're going to have to do is on the last one, we're going to have to find a way to land on the plateau. And if these actual test cases in submit are any way different and we don't have the tolerances good enough, then we're in trouble. Okay, so we're going to need another one here that basically says if we're too close to the ground, just start burning hard. Or let's say a ground diff. Well, we have a ground diff. Let's do it here. Let ground diff equals ground y minus y. So this should be a positive value. Obviously, if it's not positive, we're in trouble. This might not make a big difference. You know, we have a way to cheat. If at the very start, if we detect that that ground is too high, I can just shoot him up into space and let him come back down. Or is he not allowed to go off the screen? Okay, let's just do this. Or ground diff is less than 0. That means we have no speed left. That means we're under the ground. If we're under the ground, we should lock at rotation 0. That means as soon as we fall below that line, we should lock at rotation 0 and shoot ourselves back out into space. We don't have enough power to shoot ourselves back into space. That's a problem. The thrust does not go high enough to get us back up if we've already started descending. That means we have to immediately do it. So that means we have to have an estimated ground y. Estimated y equals y plus v speed times we'll just assume the maximum now, divided by 4. Wait. No. Vertical speed times how long does it take us to slow down is vertical speed divided by 4. And the ground diff is actually then the estimated y, and this screws up a lot. This might break our other tests, so we might go back and fix that again. And what I'm showing you, if our estimated ground, we have to start going up immediately. Does this stupid thing start at an angle as well? Like, this is mean. It starts at that angle. So what do we put? I want to see what we're doing back in slow motion again. We start burning almost immediately. And that's not enough to get it back up. The power we have is 4. Maximum power was 4. So we're going to have to do another estimate of or we're going to say estimated or ground diff is less than 0. Go for the worst and just assume that we have to pump up the power, which means it's going to jump over really fast. There we go. We're running low on fuel. Alright, let's put this back up to speed 5. And you can't go off screen. That's so mean. And this probably breaks the first one as well. Yeah, I mean... it was doing reasonably well there. But this ground diff is an estimation, our cheap estimations here are actually going to have to be correct, I think. Not estimated Y, just Y. Let me just check, let's see if the other ones are here first. That we haven't broken them. It's red. Okay, let's comment this out. I just want to make sure that this is still working. Just go for it. Let's play all of them. Yeah, and so we're going to have a problem. And the real problem in this one is that you have to fit within this tight range because you're not allowed to go above the screen and you're stuck at the bottom. I'm going to submit this anyways. And we're going to come back to this at some future point, but I might follow it around. So yeah, this is what we got. We got 50%. And I'm okay with that. And... let's see what it did in high ground. That's the same one here. We have... that's fine. We got a few more, and... no. We got 6 out of 8 in that rank. Oh, let's go back to that Clash of Code. Let's see what actually happened there. So they never finished. Or... and he did incorrect, and he probably didn't finish, so okay. No. I need something easy. I can't do any more today. Let's just finish one of the easy puzzles and go on with it, and we'll come back to... let's do War tomorrow. I should be online tomorrow or Sunday. Let's do it tomorrow. And I'm just going to do maybe finish off with defibrillators and see if we can finish this quickly. But it has trigonometry. I don't... simple. For one clash to relax. Alright, good night, okay. Actually, no, I think I'm done. I'm just done. Do you really want to do one more cache, Sasha? Then we'll try that. Which one? Let's see what this is. How do I choose which clash to join? What's Flash? What does Flash mean? Is that how long I have to solve it, or... No, I don't know what flash means, so it's gonna have to tell me. Speed, whatever. I'll just solve it. I'll see what happens. And see how poorly I do. And then we'll call it a night. We'll call it a night anyways. We're waiting for players though. Just random thing. But how do I know in advance? Oh, I have to read. I'm not very good at reading the instructions you've seen so far. Solve as fast as possible? Alright. That would have worked last time, but what's the chance I get the same question? That would be awesome. For the Mars lander, I'm wondering if I should just solve that offline, because to get the precise equations is going to be a little bit annoying. I guess I'm going to have to sit and use some paper. Go. Yeah, go. I mean, for the... Because I don't think for that optimal problem, I think I'm actually going to have to come up with the optimal solution. And that's going to be a little bit more precise than what we're doing now. We did very good though, and I think we can't solve the Martian lander the way I want to, because we're not allowed to go out of the top of the screen. If we could go out of the top of the screen, there is an easier solution that we just shoot up and then go over and pretend the bound is there. But I'll solve that offline, or we might just have to live with one not being completely solved, because it's not a Rust issue. We're not learning any more Rust at that point. We learned where constants were. That was good. We learned how to do F32, F64, I guess. So we did a little bit there, not a lot. We learned more in the first episode. And hi from stream. There we go. And see if we can distract people with stream. There we go, distract people. Distraction. So I'll solve Mars Lander offline at some point, and that's maybe just the math for it, and we'll... Because I'm thinking that that silly plateau requires the optimal solution, which is really mean, and I guess it's good, but for a medium style test, that's really mean. That ramps it up there, and if there's a third level Martian, I have no idea what they're... I know it. Third level Martian could require you to go up and down, which would be excessively mean. But let's worry about it then, and tomorrow, I should have time tomorrow. I'll do War, I guess, and one of the other ones, because that one took us a long time. I don't even remember which one we finished. We did Batman. Yeah, Batman was the first one. And then we did Crash. So go for it. Whoever who's watching this, so they can peek my code. They're going to be sadly surprised. I don't even know what we're supposed to be solving. Fastest mode. Alright, what do we have to do? Give it a standard output. The trees made of different events. To get your tree correctly centered, each stage tree must be composed of an odd number of stars to fill in this empty space with points. 4 is... What does the 4 refer to? Number of lines in the tree branches. Last line, the tree trunk. So we have 4 lines. You have to put 4, so it goes 1. You add 2 each line. Okay, that seems reasonable. Can I do this quickly in Rust? And so we have to say, if you notice there's a quick pattern here, you have 4, 3, 2, 1, so it's actually relatively simple for I in n dot dot. Can I do downward loops? We're going to find out. There's 0. And we're going to do so now for j, for x in zeros dot dot. x print a dot. Then we're going to print a star. Then we're going to print more dots. And then at the very end, we have to do the stem of the tree. And this is going to be n again. Then we're going to print a star. Then we're going to print more dots. And we're going to wait for Rust errors because this is going to go really slow. Did you mean print? Yes, I did mean print. Print. Found an. I found an an. No, not an an. Okay, so we actually need a print line here as well. And at the very end, we need a print line. Found nothing, expected star. I don't know what it gave me as an input. Okay, what's it giving me as input? This is going to be hard to debug it now. In this time, print error n 1. So 1 should be, I don't even know what 1 should be. 1 should be a single line. So this would be 0. 0 to 1 should print 1. Nothing. That should have printed something. Why does this not print anything? So now I'm debugging stuff now. That's kind of annoying. J 0 to n, that should have printed at least that. It should have printed a star. It's not possible for my code to print nothing. This is kind of bugging me. Because it has to print 2 lines. Alright, so this is something wrong here. So let's do x inverse and let x equal n minus x inverse. Go away. Okay, success. Failure. Star. Okay, for, and this has to be whatever xi for q in 0 dot dot xi plus 1 plus 2 times xi. Okay, so I'm a bit slow there, and that's an issue with Rust, I guess. I didn't know you can't do downward loops, so something was wrong with that, so I could have done that a little bit faster, but that seems okay, given that I don't know the language. And noticing the observation was a bit okay. When you notice n is that way, and I had to duplicate the code. There's I didn't read it fast enough to understand it, but I think we did okay. And so we'll take it that Sasha's not watching my stream, because that solution should translate really well. And I'll share my code despite how bad it is. This one, that was fun. Difficulty, this was, I don't know if this is too easy. I mean, it was easy. Statement, that seemed clear enough. Test case relevancy, seemed good. And feedback, I didn't face any issues with it. We'll just see if these guys finish anytime soon, but this will be the last one we do for today. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow night at the same time. We'll go on to do the other practice one. Otherwise, Sunday night and next week I'll be on the normal streams with Fuse again. And next Friday I'll have a leaf algorithms. I'll upload this to YouTube as usual so we can keep a history of these before they get deleted from Twitch. Be sure to follow me on Twitch. Subscribe if you want, that'd be excellent. Or follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just call out to me. And if you're on Coding Game, be sure to actually add me as a friend. I think somebody else added me here. We have another one here. Studiosi, that was the one I had. I thought we heard another Bing, but that's okay. Mark those all as red. And we'll see what this is. Clash ending. So we still have some people clashing here. And does this mean this person gave up? Or what happened to the chatter here? There's our chatter. Okay, Bruno Rocket beat me. Yep. Quite rusty. I think we did okay for that. Let's repeat that and then... But these things are kind of super stressful because it's going to be a hit or miss. Whether I can actually solve these things in this time. This could have very easily been like 15 minutes because if I had to look something up, like something simple, I'd be just out of luck here. But as I was saying, just follow the show, and I'm just going to sit here and watch what happens with it. If you have any questions, just ask them now. Let's look at how much better Bruno's code is. Wow, that's he solved it a lot faster. So we already got that n times 1. Yeah, this is and this is what I mean. This is knowing the language helps a lot. I'm pretty sure you can do this in Rust. So he's taken my 3 clumps of garbage and packed it into one line. And the same with the last one, but he has the exact same structure for I in range n, and then you print the stem at the bottom and use one print. And so each of these little bits I have individual loops for, and this actually cost me a lot of typing time, which might have been good. So Bruno clearly understood the problem and solved it correctly and quickly in Python. Now the JavaScript version I assume is going to be something very similar. Yeah. So we have a repeat here as well. And so they know their language, they know the repeats. That's definitely the advantage of it. Sasha's not too happy. Let's see what Sasha did. Okay, and so I guess, Sasha, you also know your language and how to repeat stuff. Same problems, copy and paste. I don't know how often these repeat themselves. I'd be very curious. If these start repeating, that's really unfortunate. I mean, that'd be really kind of silly if it just ends up being like copy and paste from repository code. So Sasha, I don't know if you saw my response. This is what happens when you don't know what the repeat is in code. So you and Bruno and the other person all used a repeat where I actually used a little loop with print. And this should all be bundled up into one line, and this as well. But otherwise, fundamentally, they're the same results. And we'll wait for the 1-2 people clashing and see how long they're taking. I won't try to distract them. But it doesn't show the maximum code size. And of course, my solution, if we're playing golf here, this would totally lose there as well. That's really, really bad, I guess. And there's not much more I can do with it. So maybe we should learn for next time how to repeat stuff. And I don't know, that's not so important. Can we watch these people as they do it? Alright, Bruno, let's follow Bruno. Sounds good. We're not friends. Let's, you commented. No, I'm not doing one more. Let's follow this guy. He also beat me. Yeah. Level 26. Guys, I don't have a chance against people. So, how do I get back to where I was? Compete. Contests. I can't get back to where I was. We'll get back to, how do I get back there? I got 66 points. Look at my rank. I mean, at 2,000. We've got a way to go. Which I'm actually okay with that, considering there's like some tens of thousands of people registered on here. But how do I get back to that contest? There must be some place I can get back there. There appears to be no way back. Games. Clash of Code. I'm in a clash. Can I get to it? Ranks and numbers in Germany are a lot more reasonable, it looks like, so I have something to handle there. There it is. There's my progress. In progress. No, it's not what I want. Okay, I really don't know how to get back to that. Anybody have any idea how to get back to the clash? This is really kind of weird. Following progress. My progress. I don't know how to get back there. We might just have to leave it. We know what my result is anyway. Brunus, okay. Thanks, Brunus F. And nice to see you in the chat. Glad you joined us. And if you looked at my horrible code, you'll understand I don't know Rust. There's absolutely no advantage to watching me. Alright, so it was a few more minutes left. We must be pretty close to done. And I'm done for the evening anyways, so I'll just repeat my standard thing again. Subscribe to me, follow me. Oh, is it done? And thank you, Nkoyan, for following me as well. Yeah, you can... You'll see it's actually the same solution repeating, but I don't know how to do the repeat statement. I mean, I would show you, but I can't get back there anymore. And I didn't know Rust when the show started. This is the 4th episode, labeled number 3. And we're learning Rust every episode, so it's been lots of fun so far, and we're totally getting lots of help and doing poorly. But today we are totally dominated by Lawrence Lander. I'm going to do that offline. But the next show should be tomorrow, or Sunday, again in the evening if you want to tune in, just in the background. It's good for a laugh if you watch how I code some of the stuff, and you can also see the Rust things, how Rust turns out as well. And there's just waiting for this battle. Come on, battle, finish it. I have no way to tell. Don't know how to get there. 2 hours ago, clash over. Can't be that long. Tick tock, tick tock. You know, I'm gonna go check my email now, but I'm not gonna open email on this screen. Let's close the pie. This is a little bit mean. Archimedes constant. I have never seen that in API docs labeled as Archimedes constant. Is that really Archimedes constant? Sidetrack. A great sidetrack. Come on, pi. Alright, it's not labeled Archimedes until the 3rd paragraph. I have a hard time labeling this as Archimedes constant then. It's a mathematical constant, but okay, they can call it whatever they want. You don't want to just call it pi. I think we're done there. In Leaf, you can just call pi, you can use Unicode. Okay, we're done the thing. I ranked 3/7. Thanks for following me, Sasha, after taunting me with all this code. And we'll do some more challenges again. Yeah, I'm number 3. And a quick look at my code again, just for fear. You'll see the manual repeat here, all these for loops and all these for loops, because I just don't know how to do the repeat in Rust. Delightful. And we have another one, edA-qa as well. Alright, let's follow edA-qa as well. Let's just follow them back. Anybody follows me, I'll just follow them back. We'll keep this going in a nice big community. Everybody doing well. And let's see what solution they came up with in the end. Where is that? Okay, so they didn't enter solution. That's fine. sometimes those things just happen, and we have those ones, so it's okay. But thank you for watching, and until tomorrow, maybe Sunday, but I'm thinking tomorrow looks okay for now, or actually today for me, late nights, tomorrow. And again, thank you for joining the show. Subscribe, follow, all those wonderful things. It's been fun, and talk to you later. Thank you.